1960s or 1970s Amoco CPVC water lines that are still bendable. These are some CPVC water lines that are about 55 years old, and they're for a wet bar sink. Normally when people think of CPVC, they think of it as being very brittle after only about 15 years. And that is true in some cases, but in this case, I can bend this 55-year-old CPVC just fine. As I bent it, I put stress on this connection here, and that's usually what would happen. The pipe would break off in the fitting. But that didn't happen in this case. It bent just fine. This is a hot water line, and it bent just fine also. Let's see, it's not breaking. So that's very interesting. Now, Amoco doesn't make plastic pipe anymore, so you're not going to find CPVC from Amoco, but Genova is a good CPVC manufacturer that has been around since 1962. Now, in the 60s and 70s, there was blue CPVC, and that was probably fine also. The bad CPVC didn't really start becoming an issue till around 30-20 years ago. Now let's take a look at the pipe and the fittings, starting with this Amoco CPVC elbow. All four of these elbows are the same. You can see it says Amoco right there. Usually it would say Amoco Chemicals, but it just says Amoco. And then 1/2 inch. The other end has a bunch of numbers, I don't know what those are. CPVC, 1/2 inch again, and then that's a gusset right there, which increases the strength of the fitting. Now right here is a compression transition adapter. So you could put a compression fitting here and use that to connect to something like copper. Now these are very helpful when you have angle stops, because you can put the angle stop here and tighten the nut down. There'd be a rubber washer that makes the seal. Apollo and Genova still make these adapters. You can see right here how they glue the adapter into a coupling and then have a pipe which goes in the elbow. But in this case, over here, they just have it glued directly into the elbow. Now both of these pipes are made by Amoco, and this one over here has clear markings. You can see it says 1/2 inch Amoco hot and cold water pipe, 100 psi, and then that's the older NSF marking. Nowadays they put NSF in capital letters, and they started changing it to that way around the mid-70s. So this type of CPVC is very good. It's nothing to worry about. If it hadn't got cut out, it could last another 55 years.